It is a major investment to transform a long-neglected part of Oakland. We'll meet a family who's lived there for generations and are hoping it can help write a new chapter for the place they call home.
I've been around, I've seen a lot, and I'm excited about this new initiative.
Plus, a horrific scene after a private jet crashes into a San Diego suburb, setting cars and homes on fire. What we're learning about the victims and their ties to the music industry.
With the jet fuel going down the street and everything on fire all at once, it was pretty horrific to see.
Plus, spreading pride while teaching history and heritage. As we count down to Carnival, we'll introduce you to one of the parade performers making a difference through dance.
I hope everybody can get contagious with all the pride and honor that we are doing here, because this is all about honoring.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Good evening. It's a major investment to bring change to a long neglected part of Oakland. Today, community groups celebrated $100 million meant to revive a 40-square block area of East Oakland. Our Kevin Coe introduces us to a family who's lived there for generations and are excited for what that money could mean for the town.
From Seminary Avenue to the Oakland-San Leandro border and the MacArthur Freeway to the Bay. It's the heart of East Oakland, home to a third of the city's black population. It's also where Kevin James has lived most of his life.
The streets were lined with beautiful trees, they were trimmed, and then all of a sudden things just fell off a cliff.
A report by Rise East, an Oakland-rooted initiative made up of local nonprofits, shows a 23% decrease in Oakland's black population since 1990. Coupled with a rise in black poverty in East Oakland. The reasons vary, but the common theme is a lack of resources, from affordable housing to job opportunities to education. But Kevin and his daughter, Kiana, wearing a Make Oakland Great Again hat, say they're living proof of East Oakland's potential.
For residents that was pushed out, to be able to come back and live in their community and thrive. So that's what I make a sense when I wear the hat, Make Oakland Great Again.
The idea of bringing East Oakland back to life is what's behind an extraordinary $100 million investment by Rise East, which raised money through donors. Some of that money will go towards funding paid internships and programs at the East Oakland Youth Development Center and buying real estate for small businesses to move in where chains like In-N-Out have moved out. The group also plans to buy single-family homes to convert into multifamily housing to help encourage residents who are priced out of the neighborhood to move back.
Real estate is power in this country. So we're here to acquire real estate for commercial, for our artists, for our artisans, our makers, our entrepreneurs, our business owners. If we don't do that, we can't cycle our dollars back into our community.
Joining Rise East for the $100 million announcement was newly sworn-in Mayor Barbara Lee.
This is actually my first press conference. This is truly a good news day.
Tax dollars aren't part of the funding, but according to a Rise East report, it plans to start leveraging millions of dollars in public funding next year.
I've been around, I've seen a lot, and I'm excited about this new initiative.
For Kevin James and his family, today's announcement means they can continue to grow roots in the place they love to call home.
This is where I'm from, Deep East Oakland.
And this is where the opportunities are for us, right?
We do have a lot of opportunities.
We know Oakland.
Yes.
We know it. We've seen it. I've seen it. She's seen it.
Rise East says the donations are already funding hundreds of projects across East Oakland. The group says it is currently in the process of buying multiple properties on commercial corridors to help revitalize Oakland's economy. All right, an update now on a fast-moving grass fire that caused major traffic problems on 580 at the Altamont Pass. It's being called the Midway Fire. CAL FIRE says it's been burning for more than 3 hours now and has charred more than 260 acres between Livermore and Tracy. The flames forced the shutdown of 580 between Highway 205 and Patterson Pass Road. Dozens of firefighters are battling the flames from the air and ground. The fire is now 50% contained. There's no word on the cause. The Senate voted today to block California's push toward electric vehicles, and now Governor Newsom is promising legal action. In all, the Senate overturned 3 waivers that were finalized by the Environmental Protection Agency during the Biden administration. They had allowed California to set its own vehicle pollution controls. And the state was planning to ban the sale of new gas-powered cars by 2035.
Big day for big oil, big day for GM and Toyota, big day for China. Terrible day for your kids, terrible day for air quality, terrible day for innovation and entrepreneurship.
Republicans argue California's plan would hurt the U.S. economy and have a nationwide impact because other states follow its emissions rules. We spoke with the Bay Area Council. They say the move may slow California's climate goals, but it won't derail them.
So to the extent that we're deploying fewer EVs, that's going to slow down the momentum in addressing environmental goals. And the state has set itself progressively higher goals on greenhouse gas emissions over the years. And so as those goals have become more ambitious, they have become harder to meet. So it's already a steep climb.
New data from the California Energy Commission shows that EV sales were down 3% in the first quarter of this year compared to last year. In San Francisco, Mayor Daniel Lurie is announcing a new effort he says is key to the city's comeback. A public-private partnership is investing $3 million to power wash the streets. Mayor Lurie says partnerships like this will help improve the city without deepening the budget deficit.
We must be smart, and we must find new ways to deliver for San Francisco. That's what this partnership represents. It's one of the several public-private partnerships we're launching to help clean our streets, support our neighborhoods, and prioritize the long-term economic growth of our city.
The initiative with Avenue Greenlight will improve street cleaning in high-traffic neighborhoods like the Mission, Fillmore, and Chinatown. Mayor Lurie has also made cracking down on fentanyl a major priority. He's touted the success of targeted operations to clear the streets of drug activity in places like 6th Street and 16th and Mission. That's meant an increase in drug arrests and cases prosecuted, a trend that started before Lurie took office. All right, now the San Francisco public defender says his office is overloaded. And as Kenny Choi reports, it's even had to stop taking cases once a week.
San Francisco public defender Mano Raju says he's concerned with a rising number of cases and what that means for his clients and an overworked staff.
We're constitutionally obligated to provide an ethical and competent defense to anyone who is charged with a crime in San Francisco.
Data presented during a recent Board of Supervisors meeting shows San Francisco has the highest caseloads compared to surrounding counties. There's been a 31% increase in filings over the last 3 years.
It gets to a certain point where the cases are too many to provide the level of representation that the Constitution demands. It's imperative on us to reduce our caseload.
That's why Raju's office has stopped taking any new cases 1 day a week. The public defender and district attorney's office both point to an increase in arrests by the San Francisco police as the reason behind the overwhelming number of cases. Jenkins says the uptick in arrests is the result of more widespread enforcement of quality of life crimes, including public drug use, encampments, and retail theft.
When you give a fentanyl dealer a misdemeanor, that's effectively decriminalizing it. When you refuse to prosecute any quality of life crime, we've seen that before, and we know where that got us.
Raju believes there's a better way to improve public safety through diversion programs rather than ramping up arrests and prosecutions, especially for quality of life crimes.
If they get arrested, they're coming back out again. And it's really important that we connect people so they can put themselves in a position where they can move to a better place in life by connecting them with the appropriate services.
Both offices say cases are also taking longer to resolve. Part of the reason is that more cameras across the city and police technology have resulted in more evidence for attorneys to review. The public defender's move to stop taking new cases 1 day a week comes as the mayor seeks to cut 15% from all city department budgets.
Both offices are facing budget cuts as Mayor Lurie tries to close an $820 million budget gap by June. Jenkins has pushed back on Lurie's bid to cut more than $5.4 million from her office, most recently at the Board of Supervisors meeting. On to a developing story out of San Diego, where a private jet went down in a neighborhood of military homes early this morning, leaving a giant debris field. Nearly 100 people had to evacuate. Authorities have confirmed at least 3 people have died, while at least 8 more have been injured. One resident described what he saw after the crash.
A lot of screaming and yelling originally from, that seeing that direct hit. We did the best we could. We were banging on doors, telling people to get up.
No one on the ground was killed. However, among those aboard the plane feared dead Daniel Williams, the former drummer for the popular band The Devil Wears Prada. His father confirmed to CBS News that he was on the plane. San Jose man is in custody after he was caught driving a stolen ATM along Highway 4. This photo shows where they got that ATM in Brentwood. A photo from police shows ripped wires and mangled left at the drive-through ATM on Lone Tree Way. A caller reported seeing the suspect in the Deer Ridge area. Officers found 34-year-old Kevin Mong hiding in a bush and then took him into custody. San Francisco city leaders are honoring civil rights and LGBTQ rights champion Harvey Milk, and today would have been his 95th birthday. At City Hall, leaders and community allies celebrated Milk's public service as a former San Francisco supervisor and reaffirmed the city's commitment to equity, inclusion, and LGBTQ rights.
He passed laws to protect LGBTQ plus people from discrimination and fought for families, workers, and small businesses. He championed merchant corridors like Castro Street, not only as cultural havens, but as the economic heartbeat of local neighborhoods.
Today's program included a performance from Opera Parallel. Ahead of their production, Harvey Milk Reimagined, coming to the Yerba Buena Center for the Arts. Tonight, City Hall will be lit up in rainbow colors. Still ahead here at 6, teaching culture and tradition through movement.
Dancing is something that connects me really deep with my mom. It's something that we share together, and it's also something that I feel very blessed and thankful that she brought to my life.
We'll meet the dancer honoring her heritage, that is, and sharing a story of resiliency at this year's Carnival. Plus, the new safety measure just installed at one of San Francisco's most dangerous intersections. There's a new effort to keep pedestrians safe at a dangerous San Francisco intersection. Today, SFMTA flipped the switch on this flashing beacon at the intersection of Alamany Boulevard, Brotherhood Way, and Sycamore Street. The area often sees high-speed turns and heavy traffic, posing challenges for people crossing the street. This is part of a series of traffic control devices coming to San Francisco neighborhoods. Traditional lion dancing kicked off the San Francisco Police Department's Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month celebration today. Officers and members of the community gathered to honor the history of the department's AAPI members and tell stories of their dedication and commitment.
These leaders help pave the way for future generations and reminds us of the power of representation.
And you can find all of our stories for AAPI Heritage Month on KPIX.com. You can watch our special Legacy and Leadership Celebrating AAPI Heritage Month tonight at 7:30 and Saturday night at 7. And we're just 2 days away from Carnival, San Francisco's 2-day multicultural festival and parade. This year, California's largest multicultural celebration is celebrating the African diaspora in the Americas with the theme Afromundo. Through food, music, and of course, dance, dozens will tell the story of the continent's influence on the Western Hemisphere. Our Cara St. Cyr introduces us to a dancer with the group Karimba Afrikaans, whose moves are teaching us all about culture and tradition.
Right now we are at the dance studio. This is usually where all rehearsals happen.
Yuliska has rhythm pulsing through her veins.
So usually I like to warm up.
A native of Colombia with strong ties to Africa and indigenous cultures, it's quite literally in her blood.
Dancing is something that connects me really deep with my mom. It's something that we share together, and it's also something that I feel very blessed and thankful that she brought to my life, because I used to be a very shy girl when I was a baby.
Now Yuliska's got the opportunity to showcase her roots. She's prepping for the annual Carnival parade, headed by the Mission Cultural Center for Latino Arts. This year's theme, Afromundo, African Diaspora in the Americas. The group is a natural fit, as Karimba Afrikaans loosely translates to African footprint.
These dances that we are doing, they tell a story.
The dance is inspired by African slaves who often fished in northern Colombia. The movements mimic fish swimming in water.
A tribute to my ancestor and all the heritage that I have. The energy that I'm gonna feel in the parade is gonna be amazing.
But it's much more than a dance. These moves tell a story of resiliency, strength passed down in a rich tradition. One Cheo Gomez, the choreographer, is working to preserve.
I'm proud to be able to share a message through dance. Many choreographers and dancers are not given this opportunity. I am grateful to the Mission Cultural Center for Latino Arts and our executive director, Martina Ayala, for providing this space and opportunity for our community to learn, preserve, and promote Afro-Latinx cultural tradition.
But to Martina, who helped coordinate the celebration, this story is made that much more relevant by today's political climate.
We need to lean on our traditions and our ancestry. We need to remember where we come from, the womb. We come from the womb. Our culture comes from the womb. It'll never disappear. It'll never go away. They will never they will never erase what we were born with.
The energy is electric and the passion palpable. Yuliska is ready to share her gift.
I hope everybody can get contagious with all the pride and honor that we are doing here, because this is all about honoring.
A rhythm she was born to dance.
And of course, we'll bring you live coverage of the Carnival Parade. It all starts Sunday at 10 on our sister station, KPIX Plus, and streaming on CBS News Bay Area. Coming up, a major reopening on California's coast, the road repair finishing just in time for the unofficial start of summer.
And just in time for the unofficial start of summer, our temperatures cooled off significantly today, anywhere between 60 degrees at the coast of Half Moon Bay to 80 degrees still in Santa Rosa, but most of our inland temperatures got down into the 70s for highs. Take a look at how long this cool weather is going to stick around in First Alert forecast.
A huge step in the recovery of LA County after the deadly Palisades fire. For the first time since January, a stretch of the Pacific Coast Highway that runs through Malibu is back open. It's a huge relief to business owners along the busy highway who rely on PCH to bring in customers. One of those owners, Carter, who runs a scuba shop and says business has never been this slow.
We went from full speed to nothing. If I have right now one person a day come into the store, I'm lucky. And I'm happy to have the public having access to our shop again.
Some Malibu residents say they're concerned the highway reopening could invite looters or other unwelcome visitors. LA Mayor Karen Bass says police will continue their increased presence in that area. Hope it will pick up as the weather gets better and better.
Yeah.
When is the unofficial start to summer? We keep saying it's the unofficial start. Are
Memorial
we in it?
Day is what we treat it as the unofficial start of summer, which the summer solstice isn't until June 21st-ish. Sometimes 20th, sometimes 22nd, but for all intents and purposes, we're getting there, even though the weather doesn't quite feel like it, and it's not going to for the holiday weekend either. Let's take a look at the big picture pattern. The storm track is remaining well to our north. That's not a surprise this time of year, but close enough that a progression of storm systems moving in to the Pacific Northwest. It's going to squeeze the atmosphere over the entire West Coast and result in some breezy conditions. It was definitely windy out there today. Current gusts are mostly in the 20 to 30 mile an hour range. Those will back down somewhat tonight, but it's going to be a breezy couple of days. Tomorrow's forecast wind gusts also once again in the 15 to 25 mile an hour range with some stronger gusts at the coast. And it's a similar story on Saturday. So as long as that strong onshore breeze is with us, not only is it a cooler air mass that has been ushered in by that progression of storm systems to our north, but the strong onshore breeze and deeper marine layer allows it to move much farther inland. That's going to keep a lid on how much we warm up as we finish the work week tomorrow and as we head into the holiday weekend. But if you don't mind the cool and breezy conditions, things are looking just fine for Memorial Day weekend. Right now, temperatures anywhere from 58 68 degrees in San Francisco to 75 degrees in Santa Rosa. You were the warm spot this afternoon. You're still the warm spot on the map right now. Most of us are in the 60s, 63 degrees in Oakland, 67 degrees right now in San Jose. As we head through the rest of tonight, we are going to see some of that fog along the coast trying to spread out a little bit. So more of a factor for the Friday morning commute, but I don't think it'll slow things down to any great extent. Fog there is should dissipate pretty quickly already by about 9 or 10 o'clock. I think it's just going to be at the coast that we're going to see some of that fog hanging on. And that's going to be the case over the next several days. Gray skies for the most part at the coast all the way through Memorial Day weekend. There's a reason that we always talk about May gray. It's going to be in full effect as we go through that holiday weekend. Temperatures tonight, just a few degrees below average, mostly mid to upper 40s to around 50 degrees. Temperatures are going to struggle to warm up, though, for that, again, combination of factors. Despite full sunshine, we're only going to climb up into the low 60s in San Francisco, upper 50s at the coast, with inland temperatures, a lot of 70s on the map. Just the very warmest spots far east of the Oakland Hills, climbing up to around 80 degrees by tomorrow afternoon. That's going to be the case in Solano County around Fairfield. Dog walking weather for tomorrow is brought to you by an adoptable pup, as we do every Thursday from the East County Animal Shelter. This is Maita. She's a little 40-pound Siberian Husky, so kind of a miniature Siberian Husky. She certainly doesn't mind the cool and breezy conditions with that thick coat. Temperatures topping out in Dublin only in the middle portion of the 60s by tomorrow afternoon. But despite that lack of warmth, don't be fooled. The sunscreen still necessary because the UV index is still going to be in the very high category. It can burn in as little as 15 to 20 minutes when that UV index is at 8 or higher. Let's look at the 7-day forecast, and temperatures don't change a lot until we get into the middle part of next week. So cooler than normal conditions prevail as we head through the weekend. And then once we get into that abbreviated work week, we return to basically normal temperatures, which means farther inland, we're going to be a little bit farther into the 70s by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. A mix of clouds and sunshine over the holiday weekend. But again, other than the cool and rather breezy conditions, no problems anticipated as we head through the unofficial beginning of summer. Even though, again, summer doesn't officially arrive until the middle of June.
Okay, and do you have an official abbreviated work week? Because I don't.
I do.
Next
well,
week.
I kind of do, because I'm going to be off to see my niece graduate high school.
So you're off.
I'll be feeling my immortality.
Okay, well, that's true. All right. Thanks, Paul. All right, now for a look at what's coming up on the CBS Evening News. Here's John Dickerson.
The unofficial start of summer is just days away, and so is barbecue season, but the price of meat is flirting with all-time highs. What's driving cattle prices? And a powerful symbol of sacrifice returns to Arlington National Cemetery, where the old guard will be using a new approach to honor those who served. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
And next here at 6, we're going to introduce you to a newly married East Bay couple proving it's never too late to find love. Their chance meeting at a place you may not expect. When Gary Ladd checked into the Pleasant Hill post-acute care facility in 2016, he wasn't expecting to find the love of his life. But when he met Teresa last year, that all changed. They struck up a friendship that turned romantic, and they got married in front of family and friends at the facility today.
I'm feeling on top of the world, just blown away. Something I've planned for many months, and I love this man dearly.
This means everything. We got the beginning of our life together.
Gary and Teresa also happened to go to the same high school, just 2 years apart. They say they never met in person until they checked in here. CBS Evening News with Maurice Dubois and John Dickerson is next on KPIX. We have local news streaming. We're back here with more local news just for you, 7 o'clock right here.